I mentioned the dynamic that the Cowboys are facing, whether they realize it or not, with CeeDee Lamb. That price tag keeps going up and up as other receivers get paid more, and it's just a matter of time before Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase get paid more, and it's going to drive the price higher and higher. Stephen Jones was asked by Adam Shine about this dynamic with CeeDee Lamb and other receiver contracts. Here's what he said.
At some point, you got to fit all these guys in, and it all comes home to roost. You got to pick and choose the guys that you want to keep and who's going to be the foundation for your team as you move forward. Part of the reason I'm sure CeeDee's not done is because, he's looking around the league to see where some of the guys you just mentioned are going to end up. The same holds true for a Micah and, right on down the line. So it's, every contract affects other contracts. And, of course, you certainly understand that each player wants to maximize his value. And, at the same time, the clubs have to figure out the best possible way to put the best players on a football team to try and win a championship. So, obviously in Kansas City, they kept Mahomes and Kelsey, but they had to let Tyreek Hill go. But they were still able to have success without him.
It's almost like they just sit back and wait for things to happen, though. See, everything that's happening in Kansas City and with other great teams is the product of a plan that they are implementing. The Cowboys just kind of go with the wind on this stuff. That's what it feels like to me. If they want to prove me wrong, they have every right to. But look at the Eagles, one of their arch rivals. They got a couple of receivers that needed to be paid. They paid the first one, then they paid the second one before Justin Jefferson blows the lid off the market because we know that's going to happen. That is proactive. That is what the Cowboys don't do. They make bad moves, bad decisions at the wrong time, and they can say all they want. Well, CeeDee Lamb doesn't want a contract because he's waiting to see what others get. You put a number on a table that he likes, and he says, I can take that or continue to wait and wonder, and maybe I get injured working out on my own. Maybe I, slip and fall on I don't know, a puddle somewhere. I don't know. You give him certain cash right now, he's going to be more likely to take it. So all of these situations, it feels like they misplay it. Like every one of these, it can go this way and go that way. They always go the way that blows up in their face.
Yeah, it's a tough one. And I'm not going to sit there and buy what Stephen Jones just said. Kansas City did the opposite, Mr. Jones. They got out in front of the situation and got a bunch of picks and unloaded the contract and the money and kept the team going. They were in front of the situation. They weren't like, oh, wait, Tyreek's up and we don't know what to do and now we can't trade him and he wants a boatload of money. No. They did the opposite of you, Dallas. They were proactive and got in front of the situation. Now you have handcuffs on you and CeeDee Lamb's got the lock. And Kansas City stopped that. They went, no. We got the key, and we're taking them off, and we're controlling the situation here, right? So they're stuck. They're in a spot here. I don't know. And the CeeDee Lamb thing is very, very interesting. It really is. Fantasy people love CeeDee Lamb. Well, I get it. He's the guy for that offense, and all they got is him. So they throw him the ball every play. That's what it is. But I'm going to tell you, the league does not view CeeDee Lamb in the same class as the guys that we know are the top receivers in football. I can just tell you that. I know that from everybody. When I talk about Dallas with anybody in the league, they're like, ooh, man, that CeeDee Lamb situation. Ooh, man, ooh. I wouldn't want to have to pay him that money. I like CeeDee, but I wouldn't want to have to pay him, right? Again, there'd be an argument for me to make and go, I'd take Devontae Smith over CeeDee Lamb. I'm just going to tell you right now, I would. Devontae Smith will run by you for an 80-yard touchdown. CeeDee Lamb not going to do that. He's not. Now, he gets a lot of touches and stuff like that. Like we said, he's the go-to guy. But I got to think, again, this is the problem of the situation, which was also, though, I don't feel that bad for Dallas because they made this situation, whether it's not getting out in the contract or not having other receivers and letting one guy make it look like he is your offense. And now you're like, oh, crap, we don't have anybody else. So they put themselves kind of in the corner twice here in this situation, and I don't know how the hell they're going to get out of this one.
Continuing this narrative that the Cowboys just always make the bad decision, the Michael Gallup contract.
Right,
After he tore an ACL,
right.
They gave him 5 years, $57.5 million. After he tore an ACL, and he was coming off of, in the year he tore the ACL, he had 843 receiving yards in 16 games in 2020. So, like, they're allocating the resources, in the wrong spots, and they're screwing up when they should. And maybe that's why they're hesitant about CeeDee Lamb, because they don't want to give him a market value contract because they're concerned he's not going to live up to it. And they have got the scar of Michael Gallup's contract on their rear end. And so they get paralyzed. I guess I can understand it. When you tagged Tony Pollard and you shouldn't have, you paid Michael Gallup and you shouldn't have. The contract they did with Dak Prescott was a mistake after they dragged their feet too long and didn't do a contract with Dak Prescott. And that's the thing that's causing them the biggest headaches now. They've done a good job of acquiring talent through the draft.
Yes, they have.
They have done a piss-poor job, in my opinion, of managing that talent, making the right decisions, paying the right people, acquiring the right free agents when it comes to polishing off a roster into something that can compete for a championship.
Yeah, I think you said it right. That's right. They got a great eye for talent. They do. The Jones family, I certainly don't want to take that away from them. They certainly know what, they like, how it fits, and they certainly have had, through the last even 10 years with some of the ups and downs, one of the more physically imposing football teams. That's impressive. But they can't seem to all keep it together ever to reach oh, wait, we got it in a year where everybody's together and we got it all right and we balanced the checkbook the right way, to where, boom, we definitely have one of the 2 or 3 best rosters in football, for an extended period of time, right? Like right now, it's kind of hey, they've had it for a year or two, and then it's we got to rebuild for a year or two, and then we're back to one of the best, and then it's oh, no, and we're back down again, and then it's, hey, we're back to one of the best again, and they can't seem to keep that level of consistency like you talked about earlier in the show of the 49ers, the Chiefs, the Eagles, of teams that are doing that and always kind of staying ahead of the curve, and of course then staying ahead of the curve in the competitive balance of the NFL and being one of the best teams because of that.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.